I'm Jeff, and as the Dan Patrick Show has figured out, I am, in fact, a ghost. Boo! This place was pretty chill, pretty quiet when I was here among the living. I never really planned on crossing over, and then they built the man cave. I'm like, there's so much going on around here, you know. Maybe I hang out and see what's going on with these guys. What say I earned the title of Fifth Danette? I mean, I have had my hand in a few of the show's great moments.
Oh, here it comes.
Up, down, go.
But if I do play, it's going to be magic.
That's at least earned me a producer's credit, right, Paulie? There is one thing the Danettes do in this house that really upsets me. It's called the box score, and it starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Gentlemen, you are settled in the man cave, of course, a major draw to the show, and all the cool memorabilia that hangs in it. Now, I have asked you before your favorite piece of memorabilia, but Seton, if you could throw away one piece without repercussions into the dumpster, what would that piece be?
Throw away one piece?
Good question.
I don't know. Can't think of anything in here I want to get rid of.
I'm gonna go with everything on Dan's desk except for his Emmy. I think his desk is overwhelmingly too full with stuff.
What
and
about
blocks the shot?
Lou also?
Yeah, whatever gets it off the desk.
Really?
Except for the Emmy. There's too much stuff on his desk. I've told him that a couple weeks ago, and he took some stuff off.
Yeah, it is a common complaint.
I thought he was
gonna.
I thought he was gonna punch you when you said that. By the way.
It was. You know, I was probably more
weird.
concerned about telling him that there's too much stuff on his desk than I would be with telling him he didn't do a great interview.
And then after that, you sort of have some type of odd responsibility, whether it was the door closing too much for the Bob Knight doll, bashing its head open there.
Accident, maybe?
Oh my goodness, this is insane.
I don't like clutter. I don't like clutter at my house. I try not to have it, and I don't like clutter here. Even though my desk is cluttered, I'm trying not to make
Pockets of clutter are okay. I'm okay with contained clutter.
Yes.
I have places where I'm like, okay, this could just be a mess, but I want the rest of this to be clean.
Yes.
Well, today you added to the clutter. It was a jersey, and it was a tad controversial.
The Lance Armstrong jersey.
Dan and the Danettes.
Now, that's not bought. That's from him.
That's from him. He signed it
Coming back.
to us.
Dan Strong.
What's it say? It says, to Dan the Danettes, thanks for having me on. Let's do it again soon. Dan Strong.
Oh,
Lance Armstrong.
Dan Strong. Okay.
I think it's a great piece of memorabilia. I know it sparked somewhat of a controversy with our listeners and viewers and amongst ourselves as to what we should do with that. Do you hang it? Do you not hang it? Are you celebrating Lance Armstrong cheating by hanging it, or can you look past it and just put it up as some type of a work of art or something that's just a conversation piece? So I really liked it. I liked that it was personalized. We believe that it was a game-worn jersey by Lance, and I personally, and I think we were all in agreement, no issues at all finding a nice spot in the man cave for it.
Hey, McLovin, Dan put this up for a vote. What were the final numbers, and were you surprised by them?
It was 70-30 yes. I was surprised that it was that positive. Now, this is even before the interview. After the interview, I wouldn't be surprised because he came off as very likable. And that's sort of my problem. Like, I want to be objective here. And, of course, I have a problem with Lance cheating and bringing down people, but I just kind of like the dude right now.
I know.
Well, with the jersey making waves today, Lance dialed in to talk to the 70% of fans that wanted the jersey up on the wall, and, of course, the 30% who didn't.
Those 30% are the people that, those might have been the people, they might have been the biggest fans. They might have been the biggest supporters. They might have been the people on bike rides and coffee shops and water coolers going, no, the guy's clean. No, the guy's doing it. I believe in the guy. I believe him. And now they look like fools. And so, of course, they're going to say, no way, Dan Patrick. To those people, I'm sorry about them. And if I could look them all in the eye face to face, I'd say, hey, brother, I get it. And I'm sorry. And it was a terrible time. And none of us young punks that went to Europe at the time wanted to be in that position, but we were. And we all made mistakes.
I got to tell you, I'm really proud of how today's show worked out. One of the things you do when it's not a big sports day is you try to find a hook, a story, a joke, a piece of content. And we took a jersey that was sent to Dan that's been sitting in the back collecting dust for a while. I almost forgot it was back there when he brought it out today. And instead of just popping on the wall, we're like, how do we max this out? And we maxed it out with the discussion. And then to get Lance Armstrong takes it to the next level and to take callers or something like that. We took this one little piece of thing that's sitting in the back room, a piece of, old jersey. And that's when I think we do our best, is when we take something. And I look at other shows and sometimes I hear them whiff, but they have something right there. And I'm like, go with that, stay with it, stay with it. Like if we would have done this in 5 minutes or 2 minutes, I think it would have been a waste. I think this is a topic that had a lot of legs. We start comparing to Bonds and Sosa and McGuire, and then we start going off the cuff to O.J. Simpson, and we realize it doesn't make sense. I mean, we did this story. This one little item had a ton of legs to it.
I kind of feel like, well, this might be a little too strong, but I kind of feel like Lance Armstrong calling in today sort of saved the show in a way, or at least tied it all together now to where it made sense, because for a while it was pretty like we were kind of all over the place. We had this watch topic, now we have this jersey thing, we're like, I don't know, should we be talking hockey and NBA, and like we have all of this stuff sort of going on, and then all of a sudden Lance is on the phone and it's like, all right, cool, this makes sense, great, now absolutely this worked out. Because before that I wasn't really sure, like, man, is this going right? Is this a good show today?
And there's no
I'm not sure.
Story to work with,
Yeah, but then all of a sudden Lance, it's just like, all right, we're good. Like we had Pierre McGuire on, NBC analyst. What did we call him? Yeah, he's an analyst for hockey, and we didn't. We're not going to break down the goalies or line, shift changes and what line is working better for whatever, because I don't really know that any of us are all that knowledgeable on it, frankly. But we did hit hockey. We hit Stanley Cup final, and we did it in our sort of variety.
Same thing with what's his name, Scott Skiles. We didn't break down Victor Oladipo's development as a shooting guard. I would put a gun in my mouth. I would be, and I like Victor Oladipo, but if I had to listen to Orlando Magic, prospectus
and there are places to find that.
Right.
Frankly, there's a lot of places to find that where it's like, okay, but you have to do something different,
I thought Skiles went nowhere on the Kobe, LeBron, MJ. But I mean, Kobe, LeBron.
Well, because now he's coaching again, and he has to be careful.
So it's funny. It's like what can be a great topic might not end up being a great topic. Kind of depends with the guests too. Yeah.
But you got to take a swing at those, because what if he said like, well, I played against Mike, and I've coached against the others, and Mike is so much better than them. It's hysterical.
The Shaq story could have worked out the exact opposite way. Yeah. Where he didn't really go in, but he gave you something there.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. At the end of Skiles, Todd and I, the other one, we would say, "Hey, what did you get out of that? What did you get out of it?" Because I'm looking for a headline. And it's funny. We had two completely different things out of that, which is neither good nor bad. But we both said, "Wow, Skiles is so likable."
But I think that's good, because like with a guest like that, there can't be that many Orlando Magic fans.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's probably not a huge, there's probably not a huge bed of Indiana high school basketball fans who could remember that game Plymouth versus Gary Roosevelt.
Just a little.
Right. But if we could pick a couple, and Dan picks, and then when the interview's done, I'm like, hey, I really like the part with this, and you'll sit through the other stuff that you might not care about as much, because Dan is almost guaranteed to entertain you at some point in that 8 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, we were talking about that after. There was no one particular thing that was very newsworthy or that's going to be like all over the headlines, all over the internet or anything like that. Yet it was very enjoyable, and we enjoyed every part of the interview. But without even having any one or two specific things that Skiles said that's going to be big, like like Shaq's comments were.
Didn't I just say that exact same thing literally like 30 seconds ago?
That's something similar to that. I rephrased it.
Kind of like you did with my Stanley Cup final thing too, where we don't really do shift changes and which line's working better, but that's okay.
But now, what are you going to do? Are you going to not talk for the rest of the box score, or are you going to continue
recycling?
The constructive criticism.
Wow, I just felt that you might not have been listening to my take.
I was listening to everything.
Well, it's worse if you were listening.
Obviously he was. I mean, he just spit it out back out verbatim.
Exactly.
He consumed every ounce
I guess that was
of it.
my way of agreeing with you, and I just was trying to say it in my own way.
How about a head nod?
All right, he can nod us into break. Let's take a break, gentlemen. Stay tuned. We are talking more jerseys.
You know what doesn't break?
You got some jerseys, you need to get them home? Hey, throw them in the back of the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Any truck can tow a boat, haul a trailer, or climb a hill. But not every truck can throw some beautiful jerseys in the back and look great doing it. Yeah, it's the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
By the way, Lightning road jerseys, kind of lame.
Would you like the number to Steve Eisherman? You can call him, the general manager.
I would be more than happy, but you got to give me a little bit more oomph. You know, with lightning, you have dark skies, and then you have the lightning. So I could do the contrast between a dark blue or black, and then I have that lightning bolt coming out of the sky.
You're good, Dan.
Welcome back to the box score. A DP jump from jersey to jersey today. What we learned: Lance Armstrong strong jersey good, Tampa Bay jersey bad. Now, Paulie, have you ever purchased a jersey that you regretted?
Regretted? Wow. Yeah, I got some when I was in like grade school that I was like obscure college football players.
Didn't you get one that like you really wanted?
Did you get a Packers jersey by accident?
No, I got a Packers jacket when I was a kid because I liked the colors, and I took a lot of heat for it.
Yeah,
I didn't understand. I was like 5 though.
Oh yeah.
It was at Sears.
Hey kid.
My mom did get me. I asked my mother for a Billy Sims, Earl Campbell type jersey, one of those great running backs.
Sounds rad.
And she got and she got me a Ron Jaworski jersey.
Ron Jaworski.
What's wrong with that?
Because he's
The Polish rifle? Jaws?
I'm not anti-Polish. I'm just anti-Ron Jaworski
That's crazy.
Wow.
as a quarterback.
I'm going to put you guys on the spot here, and you're going to piss off some fans, and of course, make some others happy. Which jerseys all time are your favorites and your least favorites? So let's go around the horn list, and let's start with Fritzy.
I'm kind of biased, you know. Obviously, the old school Bronco bright orange jerseys I loved a lot. I like the old Denver Nuggets jerseys with the look like Super Breakout from Atari. If it's got the mountains and it's got like the red, blue, yellow, and green lines. Still love the old Astros rainbow stripe jerseys. Worst. I thought the Chicago White Sox were pretty bad back in the day when they were wearing shorts and the high socks. Those looked weird to me.
But you wear shorts and high socks.
I do. But usually around the house when when it's nobody's business, when no one's around. And the San Diego Padres, I don't know if I was crazy about those brown and yellow ones. So those were a couple of I think the old Seattle Mariners jerseys were very boring.
Okay, we've covered most of the sports there. McLovin, one each, please.
I like all the Pac-12 football teams, the Oregon State, all that wackiness. Like when it looks like a Tron, like it looks like the set of Tron. So I'm gonna go new school with neon alternate every week Nike uniforms.
I'm gonna go late 70s Pittsburgh Pirates were badass. The box style hat.
Cap.
I had a friend named Dan Smith who traded him an Izod sweater vest for a box style Pirates hat. I had 12 Lacoste sweater vests seen at the time. And he had this vintage real Pirates box style hat with a P on front. And I traded him when he was drunk one night, and it's a score of a lifetime. Still have the hat. Sorry, Danny. Worst uniform all time. Oh man, there's so many bad ones. You know, I don't like the Patriots over the past decade. I really think the Patriots have whiffed of having. They had great uniforms in the 70s, and their uniforms aren't horrendously ugly, but I think they've missed the boat on going back to the old style uniforms of the 70s that
Old
were
white ones.
super cool.
And the logo with the little guy
super cool.
snapping the ball.
The best uniform in sports history is Yankee pinstripes. That's obvious. The worst uniform for me, which I think people here, this might be mildly controversial because I think you guys might like them. Creamsicle Buccaneers.
Love them.
Worst uniform I've ever seen.
When you mean badass?
No, I mean like just bad.
Oh, well, that's a mainstream view.
It's awful.
You either love it or you hate it.
No, I don't even like the logo, like the Buccaneer, the guy, the little thing. Looks super soft, horrible color, terrible uniform.
Have you seen them? They're awesome.
Yeah, this has been Fashion Police with Box Score. My favorite jersey, of course, is the Milwaukee Bears of basketball, starring one Dan Patrick. Stay with us. We're going to have a beer and a burger with some stars. Welcome back to Box Score. A couple weeks ago, we had a front row seat to see the kind of stars that walk through your studio every week. Athletes, of course, models, and actors. Hell, I wanted to go out and have a beer with Jerry Ferrara, but I knew that was not going to happen. But it got us thinking, if you could go out with any actor or actress on the planet, who would it be? This is a perfect opportunity to play.
No! You're wrong!
All right, we asked the guys who would they want to go out and have beer or dinner with, a drink or dinner with, and they told us an actor or actress. Let's start with the front row. Seton, which actor or actress would Pauly want to have a drink with?
Oh, actor or actress?
All time, living or dead? Or is it just living?
All time.
Interesting you're asking questions because you've already answered this.
And I don't recall my answer.
I'm gonna say when I think of Paul and acting, there's only one person that comes to mind, easily his biggest crush in the world, and that's Jason Statham. It's gotta be Jason Statham.
Was it Jason Statham?
Oh, I know I'm going to get this wrong, or Seton's not going to guess this correctly, but Tom Cruise. I'm fascinated by Tom Cruise and what makes him tick. I know this is not the right answer, but that's an interesting cat, and I have no idea what makes him tick. Tom Cruise.
Dangarang, man. I would have never in a million years gotten that.
You know, that wasn't going to be my first answer. I was going to go with Statham because he kicks ass. But I went with Tom Cruise because I find him deeply fascinating.
Yeah, the Statham conversation, where's that going to go?
Where's he going to go? He's going to take off with like 7 women.
Well, there's no doubt that as someone who loves awkwardity, I'll call it, you and Tom Cruise, anyone in Tom Cruise is going to be super awkward. I could see you having a great time.
Yeah, I would. Well, I actually am a big fan of Tom Cruise. He's been in a lot of great movies.
Yeah,
but I'm also fascinated by him off camera with a couple of drinks in him. What's he all about? I mean, to me, he's one of the most fascinating people on the planet.
Yeah.
Because I think we know very little.
Yeah, getting buzzed and going clear. McLovin, what do you think Fritzy said?
Adriana Lima's not an actress. She's a model.
Yeah.
Has she ever acted?
Beautiful women came to mind. So,
would you bet your life that it's a woman, not a male
Well,
actor?
I'm trying to think about Fritzy likes sort of those '80s comedies.
Stallone?
Like,
Stallone.
You know, I was thinking about sort of in the Stripes era, like something from that. But I think Sofia Vergara is the obvious choice.
Yeah, was it Sofia Vergara?
Ooh, I'm gonna say in her prime, Jenna Jameson would be someone we can count that as an actress, and then hopefully after after she's done shooting her scenes in Chatsworth or somewhere in the Valley, then maybe I can get my own little private show.
All the possible.
In her prime, Jenna Jameson.
My first thing I was like, should I go adult star? But I'm like, Fritzy would never go adult star.
Like in the Howard Stern movie, Jenna Jameson. I consider that pretty much her prime. She was looking really good.
Now, what's lunch? Well, first of all, do you have a history of sort of lunches with
one
adult stars?
That's a history.
Hello to Alicia Class. Can I give her a little shout out?
Nothing's gonna happen.
Little Santa Monica sushi back in the day.
Is that what they called it?
One date that Santa Monica sushi. I wish that's what it meant.
Wasn't she getting paged and had to split during?
Yeah.
Did she get her meal to go?
I don't even eat sushi. I dropped like $80, $90 at this little lunch place in Santa Monica, and then we're walking out, and then literally within 2 minutes she got paged to go. I think meet somebody at a hotel or something was up.
Man.
Some kind of party she had to be at.
If you could create a time machine,
to.
if you create a time machine and go back in time and somehow view one meal in the history, would that be the meal?
Like the Last Supper or that meal?
I would take that meal
I would take
over
that.
the Last
We know what
Supper.
happened at the Last Supper.
Absolutely.
We know how the Last Supper ends. We know how that one ends too.
I was trying to look over her shoulder. This was about room 4.
Like, what did you guys talk about? Well, you can tell me later.
Okay, let's back to Pauly. What did Seton say?
Actor or actress? I don't think he's going to pick an actress because that might not go over well back home. He's a smart father / husband.
I would respect.
Yes, respectful. Actor? Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
Was it Clint Eastwood?
I would want to have dinner or a drink with Johnny Depp because he's a good actor, knows music, plays the guitar, kind of has like a pirate thing going on. I could hang with him.
You don't remember his
That was my 8th guess.
Pirate thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would
You know what? That's a tough one. Because even I thought that I had answered Leonardo DiCaprio. So I was even surprised by that answer. I guess it's really more about know yourself at this point.
Depp's the kind of guy you go out to lunch with and you end up on a yacht in Tangier for 4 days.
All of a sudden Keith Richards is going to come hang. And
Keith
you're like,
is
oh,
definitely
yeah, dude,
I think there's an
come over
upside.
here. And you're like, wow, that'd be a great night.
A lot of upside.
And finally, Fritzy, what did McLovin say?
I have 3 in my head, and I've been known to give more than one answer. I already got almost buzzed for that earlier with the
Can you give one?
I can't. I'm unable to give one. I was thinking Peter Dinklage with the whole Game of Thrones thing.
Oh, that's good.
Then I was thinking Robert Downey Jr., but I'm going to go
guess.
with John Cusack.
John Cusack.
Oh,
Can you
was
say I
it
looked a lot like
John
John
Cusack?
The actor or actress I'd most want to have a drink with,
Oh, I'd most want to hang out with Robert Redford because I think he'd have the best stories.
Solid. That's a good hang right there.
But that clearly was an easy answer. All three, Woody Allen would have been a good answer. Robert Downey Jr. though, he's cool and all, but why?
I could just picture you.
Downey Jr. would be in the 80s. Downey Jr. would be top 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken any of Fritzy's or mine.
I wouldn't. There isn't anybody here at the table that I would be like, nah, I'm not into that. I would totally do dinner with everyone mentioned.
But by the way, Robert, remember Dan was talking about the Sting? It was clearly right before, about 15 minutes before we did that. Dan saw the Sting the night before.
All good guesses, all good answers, which means nobody wins today. All right, this is the box score, and we are taking a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. But I'd want to go have a beer with the Ram Heavy Duty. I think it'd be a nice date, if I pick up the tab. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to the Box Score, closing up shop here at the Saloon. Gentlemen, today we were witness to one of the great debates in show history. Watch guy or not watch guy? We found out that Paulie, of course, does not have a watch sponsor. DP owns a watch that cost over $6,000. And of course, Seton has spent 0.0 on watches in his life. Now, McLovin, we know you aren't a watch guy, so let's make you one here. Would you rather have the Dick Tracy watch or Penny's video watch from Inspector Gadget?
Oh. Wow. Now, I assume you think like I'm an Inspector Gadget fan. That's some sort of dig at me, which I am. But I'm still going to go Dick Tracy.
Who at this table wasn't an Inspector Gadget fan?
Yeah. Dick Tracy, everything except there was too much yellow going on, but Dick Tracy was pretty cool. Yeah, now when the Apple Watch came out, I assumed it has most of those functions, so I'll take the Dick Tracy.
See, would you rather have $10,000 to spend on one watch or $2,000 to spend on one guitar?
Oh, not even close. $2,000 to spend on a guitar. Not even close. I don't need a watch. You could tell the time 15 different ways any direction you look, but a $2,000 guitar is something nice.
But don't you have a guitar?
Yeah, I could use more.
I don't understand.
If one guitar is good, two is better.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why to play different songs and different...
Well, different guitars, guitars play differently. Some sound differently. Like you have a hollow body. Or,
Doesn't Keith Richards play like one guitar though? Don't like the great guys have their one?
Well, a lot of them will play like they just play Telecasters. Or
Played
something
one
like that.
guitar.
His whole life changed.
Let the jukebox hear it? Yeah, Foreigner. Okay, thank you.
Paula, you asked. Let me ask you this, Paula. You asked Dan if guys wear watches to show that they have arrived. Is that why you wear watches?
Oh, I haven't arrived, and my watch would not say so. No, I like them in summer. It's a comfortable thing, just a little like something to put on you to give a little character or something like that. But yeah, I know some guys who've spent a serious amount of money on watches and don't have the money to spend on them.
Oh, yeah.
And that I think is kind of irresponsible, because if you walk into, let's say, a bar with a $10,000 watch on, but you no longer have $10,000 to your name, you're sending the wrong message. Like if you meet some girl and she thinks, wow, this guy's got a Rolex, and she's looking for a dude who has a Rolex, and then she realizes he doesn't have a Rolex lifestyle, I think you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, then you have an 05 Cabriolet, and it's like, what?
There's a thing called when I lived in Scottsdale, Arizona, they called them 30,000 millionaires. And it was dudes that made 30,000 a year, but walked around like they're millionaires. They would spend every dime they had on a beautiful Lexus, but then run out of gas. And you wanted to show that you had money, which I think is really dangerous.
Well, when a lot of athletes retire, the teams get together and pitch in and get them gold watches. Now, Fritzy, when Dan retires, are you guys going to pool your money and get him another beautiful watch?
I don't think we'd get him a watch. I'm trying to think of what, we'd probably come up with something amongst us that would be clever, creative, something that he can use, something that he doesnesn't have, whether it's a piece of memorabilia from a favorite team. Like he was a big fan of the, Cincinnati Royals growing up. Maybe there's some kind of really, nice pricey item where we can get, like an Oscar Robertson or a tiny Archibald.
And then he'll put in a pile and under a bunch of stuff in the back like he does with most of the memorabilia that gets sent here. I'll tell you, when Dan retires, we're going to pool our money for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
We're not going to be in a spending mode.
Yeah, we're not going to be in the low money mode. Might be a little tight those days.
Yeah. And by the way, Brock, you're right with us.
Yeah, you better hold your breath.
Don't set aside money for Dan's present, Brock.
No. You're looking at a guy
boy
with the plastic watch on here. I am pulling everything. All right, Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Pulitzer Prize-winning author. He contributes to Vanity Fair, among other publications. Friday Night Lights creator, Buzz Bissinger, he'll join us. He wrote the Vanity Fair cover story, Call Me Caitlin, about Bruce Jenner, now Caitlin. He'll join us. And Rich Eisen of the NFL Network and of Audience, The Rich Eisen Show, will be with us as well.
Rich Eisen, Susie Schuster's husband. Love that guy. All right, we are back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, right here in Audience, Channel 239. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Stand back, my brother. Get well.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey! Thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!